G'day folks, welcome back to Pete's Investing. It's May 16, 2024. This is the Nat Gas update along with Boyle, KOLD and UNG. And as you can see, natural gas, UNG and Boyle have all risen slightly since our last update, and KOLD has dropped as well. Now, in terms of the heat map, you can see there on top right, we've got natural gas still bearish on all instruments on the monthly. But predominantly bullish on the weekly and the daily, with the exception of KOLD, and then some other instruments which we cover occasionally in other videos. First, we're looking at natural gas. As you can see here on the monthly, weekly and daily trends, we look at the CCI 150, which is our trend indicator. And on the monthly, it's still below the moving averages, and it's giving us a bearish signal. On the weekly, it's broken above those moving averages, and it's giving us a bullish signal. And on the daily, it's showing a nice bullish movement. It's been doing that for the last few months now. So that's positive on the daily. Now, if we jump to the other daily and the hourly charts in more detail, we use that as a reference point, obviously. You can see here since our last video, the price has actually increased since then, and it's been this little range there. Although notice the CCI is still dropping, and that's a bearish divergence. So we may see it fall off at some point. No, not knowing exactly where it's going to drop, but at this point, it's still dropping. On the daily, though, it's still in an upswing, so just be careful about, I wouldn't be going short, but just carefully going long only as soon as we see this break to the downside. Now, in terms of trading this, you can trade it based on the daily trend, as you can see there, where that CCI is hovering above that moving average, those moving averages. So you can see there when it broke above there, the last entry, that would have been ideal when you also broke above on the hourly, and that's where you would have taken those trades, and you will have exited when it broke into that moving average band there on the hourly. Again, going long only, avoid the short trades because the daily is going long. When it breaks above, you might have gotten out with a small profit, or at the very least a break even on that little trade there. Now, but notice the CCI is dropping off, so you may want to even avoid taking long trades during this period, or taking trades at all until we see an upswing like it did back here, for example. That would have been a nice little area to go long, as long as that's also long on the daily. So again, the divergence like it's happening at the moment, it's a bearish divergence. That's just be cautious about going long. You can still trade it, like you can see there, that would have been another little trade there, a false break there, maybe a false break there, but again, cautiously going long only when the hourly is also in an upswing along with the daily. Next, we look at BOIL on the ETF. And again, on the monthly, there is no indicator for CCI 150, so it's showing us nothing there. On the weekly, it's showing us a bullish divergence. And on the daily, likewise, a bullish movement. You can see there the price has bounced off that 1346 and making some move to the upside towards this resistance. Again, as I said in a previous chart, avoid going long if you see a downtrend as well as a divergence, and I'd like to see a bullish movement on the monthly to trade this on the weekly. On the daily, you could possibly trade that, so long as this is also in an upswing as well on the weekly. So again, trading the lower time frames in accordance with the larger time frame. On the daily chart, again as a reference, you can see there we had a bullish divergence, and on the hourly we had a few bit of a volatile movement across this support line at 1347. Again, notice we had a bearish divergence down there. It came down, hit our target area between the 23 and the 38%. That target area is, again, I don't trade these, but you can use it as a potential area to see where it may bounce from, and it did actually bounce from there. But notice the CCI is still dropping, so again, cautiously, very, very cautiously going long only. And again, I'd like to wait for it to have a bit of an upswing like it did back here, in accordance with the daily being in a long position. So again, cautiously trading these only if you've got a bit of a risk appetite for it. Otherwise, avoid when the CCI is dropping off. Next, we've got KOLD. We've got the, again, monthly showing no CCI on the indicator, but looking at that, you can see it's probably a bearish to a neutral at the very least. And on the weekly, we do have another bullish divergence. That's actually bounced off from that decline, made a nice little bounce in accordance with the CCI, so that's in a bullish movement at the moment. Whereas on the daily, that's the weekly, on the daily, we're in a downward trajectory at the moment. So notice how we did have this bearish divergence versus higher highs in the price, and it's actually fallen off and now giving us a bearish signal. So again, trading only when the direction of the higher time frame is in alignment. Looking at the daily, here's a reference again with the hourly. We've got since our last update, it's actually dropped further. We did have a bullish movement here, but it didn't bounce. You notice there the trend on the CCI higher lows there versus lower lows on the CCI on the price chart. So that divergence is still, I suppose, playing out, hasn't actually completed yet. So again, I'd wait for this to complete and see an up movement on the daily before taking any long trades. Or in this case, I'd avoid taking any short trades as well because of this bullish divergence. Next, we've got UNG. Now, this one is showing up on the monthly. We've got a bearish movement with the CCI below its moving averages. On the weekly, we have a very slight bullish divergence versus lower lows on the price, and that's starting to bounce. But again, I'd like to see it break a lot higher. And on the daily, we've also got a bullish divergence versus lower lows on the price, and that started to bounce as well. Now, on the other daily as a reference here with the hourly, again, here's that bullish movement. It's bounced off that support at 14.57, and it's hit this minor resistance at 17.95. Now we've got on the hourly, it's actually been volatile again around this support line at 14.57. Made a bit of an upswing, and now I've had a bearish divergence versus higher highs in the price, and that's still playing out. So if you to extend that lower versus the price up to that point, so that hasn't actually started to decline yet. We probably will see that fall in the near term, so just keep an eye on that. So again, for this one, I'd like to see this. This is already in a bullish movement on the daily. To trade on the hourly long, I'd like to see this CCI start moving in alignment with the price and making new highs on the CCI as well as the price before taking long positions. So just be careful about that. To support us more, go to the Patreon page where we look at weekly scans of bullish shares. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.